Okay, so I finished my my mom's kitchen knife. So some of this stuff is gonna be kind of redundant, but I'm just gonna go over it again, just to have all the information just in one video. So it's Vanax. That's what the steel is. So Vanax, it's the Rockwell is 60 Rockwell. Um, I put I use copper for the bolsters, and then the rivets. I use brass for these rivets. You see the little tiny rivets there. Um, the copper I used is it's C110, so it's like 99.9% copper, and then the handle is made out of pink ivory. So, but this very red. So I thought this was gonna be a little bit more pinker, huh? But it's like really red. This is this spot right here, and my fingers are still my nails and stuff are dirty still from working on this. So it got everywhere, all like when I was sanding it down. My hands were turning green from the copper and the water, the mix, and I just couldn't get rid of everything. So this right here is that knot I showed in the previous video. So it didn't open up, but it did get smaller, the knot, but it still left a mark there. And so I'm just gonna go over just like kind of the design, why I chose to do what I did. And so if you can see, there's a mess up right there where I grinded it. I gotta work on my so I grind these by hand. I gotta work on my left hand when I grind stuff. The right side's much better. So if you can see the grinding on this, it's from here to here, it's shorter than it is from here to here. So on this part right here, it's an angle with less of a degree than it is up here. And I did that because my mom she chops chicken bones and stuff like that with her knife. We'll see how this does. Her last knife broke basically because she chopped the chicken bone. It just like it cracked. It just snapped a piece off. So we'll see how this fares. So I made this part a little bit thicker right here. Made this part wider. It's a little bit sharper, just slightly, and just out of hope that this will be a little bit tougher. So I've never used Vanax before. This is the first time. This is the first knife I've made out of Vanax, so I don't know too much about it, and I can't really test this one that much because it's my mom's. I'm gonna make another one in the future, and that one I will test, just to see. I decided to go with copper because copper, so raw copper, when you have raw copper, it kills bacteria. It kills bacteria when you have raw copper. So the reason I wanted to use copper on a kitchen knife is because of that. I mean, I'm sure it's like super minor difference, if you have copper, as to how much bacteria would kill, but it's nice to have it there. And then there's a second reason too for this. Since this area here is going to be like a chopping area, it adds heft here. So when you make a knife, there's balance. So there's general blade shape. There's how much you're working with. Oh, the thickness on this is a 0.098. This is the thickest. That's the thickest I could find in Vanax. There's only one place selling it online, and that is the thickest I could find. So hopefully I'll find something thicker in the future. So it's the thickness of stock you start with, and then how thin behind the edge you're gonna do, and then balance. Where do you want your balance at? And there's also a point of percussion. So like you know, like a bat has a sweet spot where you hit a ball and stuff like that. So I wanted the sweet spot here, basically. So this also adds heft here. So think of it like a hammer. You know, you put a lot of weight on the end. Basically, where you hit with a hammer is the head. So the weight's around here, and actually this isn't something I can transfer through video, but the sweet spot for this is here, basically. So wanted to do that, and I'm happy. I'm happy actually that it came out that well with this piece of copper here. So I used 3/16 rivets for the handle. I wanted it to stand out. I probably will use 1/8 in the future, but I'm actually really happy with these 3/16 rivets since I used it on the last knife I had on the Chris knife. So the shape of this knife, it's actually I measured my mom's. So here's my first finger. I measured my mom's hand. Oh, and it's a 7.5 inch blade, and this is still 4.5 inches, but the palm swell. So this is where I'm getting at. The palm swell is a little bit different to where I would have it. So I measured my mom's hand. Hands are hopefully not that dirty. So there's like spots I could not get out. And see where your hand, like if you do this, like let's say you're gonna scoop water to drink out of a pond or something. You have a spot where it you have a little concave area. So I measured my mom's hand, and measured out where that little concave area is, and where it would place on this knife. So it's measured to her hand from here to basically here. The concave is where her first finger would go, and then it's a little bit forward for me, but for her it's perfect. So I measured that for her. Made sure the little concave area is perfect there. Added this just as a little stop here. I really wanted to square out the corners on this handle, but I was afraid that that if I squared them out, made them to like a 90-degree corner, I was afraid it would fall someday. I can always do repairs, so like a dent is fine. But if it fell, hit a corner, like a 90-degree corner, and chipped, that would suck. So I decided just to round out the corners, get rid of some of that. Lower the percentage on that happening by a little bit. And so that's why I did this. And then on the back here, you see this, put a little bit of a spot there. Just for your finger. You can feel it. You can feel where it goes up, where it raises. And then last, left this rounded. So if she does decide to do a pinch grip, this is something she has to try yet. For me, it's comfortable because it's your middle finger goes in this divot here. And this is something she still has to try. And then you can just grab the blade, the top of the blade here. As to working with Vanax, so okay, like I said, this is like my first Vanax knife, but so edge retention, if you check out Cedric and Ada on YouTube, edge retention for Vanax is, I think it's like twice as much as 3V, CPM 3V. So but it's kind of crazy. It's easier to work with. I don't know what it is. So grinding, I usually go through some belts when I'm grinding stuff on when I'm grinding CPM 3V, and that's everything I've worked with before. So I've only worked with CPM 3V before this. Oh, and an old file back in the days. So everything this so CPM 3V compared to this seems way harder, way more wear resistant. Just when you're working with it. But this supposedly is like the edge will last longer. So I don't know. I mean I'm sure that you know, the test and everything comes out fine. I mean, Cedric and Ada, their tests are you know, correct. But I'm just saying, it's just working with it it's just it's a weird thing, and I know, and it could be the difference from that it's annealed or whatever. But now that I got it back, it feels about the same, and it's also 60 Rockwell hardness, just like the CPM 3V. But it's when I sharpen it, it's I don't know, it just feels, and it could be just with the thickness of the edge too, but it feels a little bit softer to me or whatever. So we'll see. This one I can't test, I can't mess with. I am gonna mess with the next one, but that's gonna be a long time from now. So I'll start it up probably in a couple weeks, and it's gonna take me a while just to make. So, but overall, the way this sharpens, because it's thinner, it is like pretty sharp. So this is like thin paper, and let's see, I can just get it on camera. So super easy. You can tell. So you can tell it gets easier from here. From here on out, it gets easier to cut. So, and you hear from here, you hear less. It's more of an easy glide. Even the sound's a little bit. The sound it makes is a little bit less too. So for right about here, it's a little bit thinner. So very nice. It's easier to cut this than it is. I mean, it's harder to cut this kind of paper because it's just thinner, flimsier than it is. Computer paper, which computer paper is like. I mean, it's just like nothing, you know. So but I use this. This is kind of off topic, but I use this for this kind of paper for when I'm sharpening. So what I do is I just cut it, and then I just try to listen to the sound it makes. And if there's any hang-ups, anything like that, then it shows you there's a spot to work on. So it's a good thing to do. Just get some hard to cut, you know, paper, and just run it through. I mean, not run it through. Just cut through it and see where you have little hang-ups. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. There's not that many people like doing Vanax, so that's part of the reason I wanted to do Vanax. So if you you know, want to know anything about Vanax, I'll do my best to answer any questions. Okay. All right. Well, bye.